A couple of points that I need to make.
Sorry, Sean, we're going to leave it till after.
No, I'm sorry, I need to answer these points because there's some points here that are sort of fundamentally wrong.
The structure we agreed was that we were going to let all three people present.
I'll take 2 minutes. Okay, first of all, let's get to how we got to the prove us wrong. The requirement to prove us wrong came from the simple fact that nobody, yourself included, would actually look at this technology in a real way. Okay? The concept that Steorn is a jig and fixture company is, there's a bunch of people down in the back there for Steorn. Explain to them when we were a jig and fixture company. It's fundamentally inaccurate. With your comments about energy, force and power, my presentation's there. If you want to show me where I'm confusing energy, force and power, I'd be quite happy to discuss it with you. Newton and so on. I do believe, again, I could be wrong about this, but I'm sure we can actually Google it. Pretty sure Newton, the thermodynamics and so on, came well after Newton. The business model is fascinating, absolutely fascinates me. You can't patent it. Well, that's absolutely incorrect. You can't patent physical principle. Physical principle can't be patented. You can patent, and we'll discuss it with that. Patent Lord Brown, we're one of the best patent agencies in the country. And with respect to looking for investment, we're no longer looking for investment. There's people who invested on the basis of 4 PhDs in permanent magnetism testing technology. And what you actually see here is a microcosm of the reaction, just wrong. What you're being asked to do, okay, is not what you should be trained to do, which is the thing. You must accept it on faith. Okay? When I was an engineer, I accepted it on testing.
Is this supposed to be a working model that's portable, is it? Portable?
Yeah.
Why didn't you bring it in?
We just don't carry it around. We don't bring it around with regard to if there are comments it wasn't working and so on. We've approached this regardless of, I'm not quite sure what the purpose of the last presentation was, other than it was very entertaining.
Neither am I.
We have of course entries every blog in our office as well, just in case. The purpose of what we're doing is simply saying that there is very simple, which I didn't hear anything to discuss, I'm not sure if they're actually qualified to discuss the magnetic viscosity elements. This is something that is very simple to experiment and to prove what is proven in the lab. And we come down to, we get this constant thing, we're not the scientific process, so these presentations are raising money and this making a joke of it all. But the simple premise here, okay, about the scientific process is that if we went the classic route, which is publish a paper and say, look, here it is, here's how you can phenomenologically look at all of this, and you can test away, that you end up with nobody to publish. When you approach universities such as this one, such as all the other universities in this country, nobody will look. Okay. So you're left with no option but to do that.
But you're talking about not being able to publish by some kind of conspiracy of scientists against it. Can I just say?
No, sorry.
Well, why didn't you publish it on your website? I saw your website. I didn't see anything detailed about how you.
There is absolutely no detail that we publish at all for the reason that we've mentioned, which is we're equally a commercial organisation and we have to pay the
And
you can't patent.
But do you have any
you can't patent physical principle, you can't patent gravity, otherwise it's dependent on Newton's to this day. Okay, you can patent machines that use the effect of gravity.
And have you done that?
We have quite many patents, yeah.
And they go back.
Sorry?
So you have patents on technology?
Patent pending, yeah.
But why don't you explain the actual theory behind it, without actually going into the actual...
The theory behind it is a very simple theory. Okay? You look at what's a conservative force. Okay, conservative force. You move one magnet in the field, around magnetic field. You've got point to point. You close the loop. Okay, it's a net zero transaction. So that is fundamentally untrue.
I know what you mean, but what I'm saying is the scientific method is that you have an observation. Like you have an observation at the moment. You haven't got a theory or anything. And you have an observation and then you try and explain it. And how you do that is you come up with loads of hypotheses of various different types. And then you try and they have to be testable as well and have to actually test them. But when you're coming up with hypotheses, the hypothesis that a law is broken should be a last resort. And I'd just like to know what other hypotheses you come up with. And the other thing like that is just the hypothesis, available. And the only way you can do that is by engaging the scientific community by publishing. And I know you said about not being able to publish, but like, you know.
Okay, well, to answer, to follow the flow of that, because it's a very fair question, all four of them. I'm going to get through them one at a time. Okay. The first point is that we're not offering some new theory to the universe. We're not, it's not ours. Right? We're a technology company, okay? With respect to when we started, we found this thing that we didn't realise what it was. It's actually a known phenomenon, something that's existed for several hundred and 40 years. We began to test and do what I was trying to do in college, what you were trying to do in college, which is to try and sum the cycle of energies. So you start looking at all these places like main energy, you start looking at temperature energy. So we've been through a process in 4 years of literally testing every possible energy source. Okay, to the point where the only energy source that could explain it is dark energy, dark matter. It's being tested out. It's not being tested out exclusively, it's being tested out by labs all over the world. Okay, so we're not sitting here saying, here's some new theory of the universe. We're sitting here saying, here is a practical example, okay, which can be tested and measured by you if you have the means to do it, okay, to demonstrate that certain ferromagnetic transactions are thermodynamic irresolvable. It's actually that simple.
Yeah, but like we can't test it at the moment.
Of course you can't.
All we can see is
Sorry?
the diagram. All we can see is the diagram. We
No,
can't actually test it.
the point you Google magnetic viscosity, okay, it's a well-known, we're not putting into the public domain, you know, specific instructions that I intended, but the reason that the constructions are viable is because of the time-variant nature of magnetic interaction. Okay? And that's, you can Google it, you can put all the white papers you want, you can go into your lab, you can test it. Okay? And that's what I always say in these debates, because there are no win debates, am I right? Okay? I'll never ever win this debate. Okay? All that I can possibly do is get laughed at. But the point I would say is that as an engineer, I was trained, okay, to accept these laws. I do accept them, but where I find an anomaly, I explore. And you have as much possibility to do that as we do.
But you must expect to get laughed at, like, if you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but like you, I presume you expect to
Just
get
don't wear
laughed
my
at.
Trinity t-shirt.
But a genuine scientist would use that hypothesis as a last resort, and you try everything else.
You get
and
talking.
if you can't explain it with stuff that's already there, then you ask everyone else, which is the scientific community. So.
Can I ask you to do this again? Because it's a very easy thing to say. It's a very simple thing to say. Well, look, I have this thing that I can't resolve. Okay, phone up Cambridge University. Okay, and say, look, I've got this thing. It seems to be creating and destroying energy. See how long the phone hold lasts. Click.